Hello everyone. Sorry here. Thank you so much for joining me. I am here today crafting with Crafty Critta, and I'm going to be making a Kendra card challenge card using these products. But I just wanted to quickly show you the products that I got. It's quite an assortment of fun elements here. I have a design paper pack here that's the wood grains with a bunch of different types of colors going on. I've already pulled it out so we can see. But you can see it's a very dark, grungy type of effect we have. I don't even know if it's actually wood bark. It almost looks like paint that has dried up. It's just really cool. And from what I remembered last time, that you can foil these. If you take a look at one of my videos last time using this product, I foiled some butterflies on the paper. Then the other one I have, and these one actually have names, they're just codes, but I'm going to call this one Soft Floral Wallpaper Gingham Patterns with flowers. And you can see they're both double-sided, and they're just very soft colors, patterns. They really do look like wallpaper I've seen. But these are completely different from the other one that I had just shown you. So hydrangeas, I believe that's what they're called. Very pretty papers, and you get a few of each. I believe it's 4 of each design. And then under here, I've already foiled some of these, but these are sentiments. So this is not the hot foil. This would be for the laminator. This is just your toner sheets. So I went to my friend's house and I got a couple of these done, but you can see all the sentiments. There's some big smiles and small smiles, and then a bunch of little sentiments. So I've done them all in some gold and pink. And then here's the same 2 gold and pink, just to give it some different options here. But they foil amazing. And then these are the foils that I get to play with. So these are the hot foils. So these will work with Spellbinder's Glimmer machine, for example. And we have Barley Blue. We have Loganberry Pink. And then we have Jelly Bean Sparkle, which is a fantastic one. It has like that sparkly look, but then there's all this pattern, so it can create some really fun effects. So let's put this aside. I'll do some 3, 2, 1. I'll do some foiling off camera just to save up some time, and we'll create some cards that are following Kendra Card Challenge sketches. See you soon. Okay, for the first card, what I've gone and done is foiled this pattern paper with the pink foil using glimmer plate with a stencil that coordinates with it. So I'm just pulling out some light pinks and a light blue that's going to be used to lightly go over this background. Now, I will be honest and upfront. I am following sketch 7, but I'm following it very, very loosely. I was using it more as an inspiration because when I was playing with the contents that I have, this inspired me and I just wanted to do it. So you'll see, if you pull up sketch 7 in view, you'll see what I'm talking about. But what I'm going to do is, using a little blending brush, I'm going to go very lightly. And actually, this is going to take a while because it's such a small little brush to go over all these areas, but it actually works in my favor because you're not going to spend, well, I mean, you could, but you may not spend as long if it's taking forever to cover this as if you were using a blending brush. So you can see there the pink was done, and it's just a very soft pink. And then I'll go ahead and bring in a light blue, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to go over it with the itty bitty brush, and it's just going to really give this light color. I'm also not pressing hard. I don't want to make it dark. I'm going to go as light as possible. And if I start seeing it getting a little dark, I'll move on to the next spot. So I'll fast forward that. I think the only one spot that I've accidentally hit a little too hard, and you'll see it when I'm transitioned to the next seam. But this also took a little bit of time just because of it. But look how pretty that is. It just adds a little bit of softness to this pattern paper without taking away from it. It really turned out well. Now for these images, I went ahead and cut them out from that pattern paper that I just shown you. If you look at sketch 7, these are the 3 circles that I'll be using. So instead of 3 circles, I'm going to be using these, I think they're hydrangeas. I believe that's what they're called. Now this is where the stretch is. I technically am not using paper C and paper D, if you look at the sketch, to do the background. But I am definitely inspired by the 3 circles. And then when I implement my sentiments, it'll also start tying in with the different strips. So I'm going to just position those so that there's a little bit of a gap, and then I can easily glue these down, and I know exactly where I'm going to put them. I'm actually going to be adding a little bit of height to the ones in the front, just so there's a little bit of dimension. And to do that, I'm just going to be using some scrap pieces of paper. You can definitely use any type of foam tape, but using 3 strips of scrap paper works just as well to give you that little bit of height. For the first one, the blue hydrangea, I'm going to just put a piece behind the flower ball, and then a tiny little one behind that leaf. The rest of it can be glued down to the card, but those 2 spots will be lifted, and that'll give me just the tiniest little bit of height. It's going to separate this from the one in the front, or in the background. I don't have to worry too much about this one because it is at least a different color, but it'll definitely help a lot more when I bring in this pink one, and I'm going to prop that one up as well. And so then the 2 pinks aren't going to be merged together. You'll see a little bit of a shadow, which will give them that separation. You can always ink blend these a little bit if you wanted to, like the one in the background. I could have ink blended it a tiny bit just to give it more of a shadow effect, just so you know that it's further behind. That works. But sometimes it's just fun to just cut, glue, and nothing more. So there we go. I've added all these little pieces. Once again, you can use your foam squares, you can use your anything foam you want, but if you have plenty of scrap paper, this works as well. What I like to do is I'll just glue my scraps together, and then I'll just cut the pieces that I need so that at least it's all ready for me. And I'm just going to prop most of this up because this is the very front of all the flowers. And just try to make sure that I hide the other pink one's stem. I don't want you to be able to see where it ends. That's kind of where this all works, is you got to hide all the ends except for the one in the front. There we go. So those would be our 3 circles. Now I have a black strip and a white strip that's in the sketch. So for the black one, I know I'm not going to be using an actual strip, but I'm going to be using my sentiment, which is the word smile. So this was heat foiled with Crafty Critta's sheets. So I just took some gold foil and I put it through one of those laminating machines. I think it was the Mink. And then it just does a nice gold foil over top of the sentiment. And so I'm just testing it, but I'm going to cut out that center there, just getting a little pokey tool, and then just very carefully work in increments, just slowly going around and around until you get as close as you want. You don't need to have the white border, but I do it. I like it, but if you don't, then you can always cut right to the foil if you want to. But I'm just going to try to match the outside as much as I can. So there we go. Not too hard, you just gotta take it slow. And so I'm gonna glue this, and it's going to go in between the flowers, and it's gonna act as that black strip that's going across. So that's the inspiration for that as well. There is the white border bottom on the sketch too. Technically, the sentiment could be the white, and I'm just moving it up. And then for the black line, I'll just use that sentiment that I have laying on the table that says, "You are wonderful." So it doesn't matter which one, the inspiration is still there. And I will just finish putting my little tittle there on my smile, and then I'll grab my sentiment. And it's going to be a full sentiment saying, "Smile, you are wonderful." And it looks so nice with the flowers, which I can't help smiling just looking at them. Plus the foiling and everything, it just looks so nice. And I'm just going to try to figure out where to place it, and I think I'm just going to put it right on top of the flowers, just almost centered with the smile, if not perfectly centered. Probably not, but there we go. And this is fantastic. I love it. Now, normally I like to have a little border on my card, but this one kind of has one already. The foiling plate creates that box around the whole card. So I don't need to worry about it too much. It still gives you that somewhat of effect of there being a border. I know this is a huge stretch for sketch number 7, but it did inspire me to create this. And I just love how it turned out, and I couldn't not show it, if that's the right way of saying that. Okay, moving on to card number 2. This is going to be, once again, a stretch, but it's at least following it a little bit better. What I've taken is that paper that looks like chipped paint or wood. I foiled it with the blue using a letterpress plate. It works fantastic with foiling, and it just made it look like it was a spaced scene. So what I'm going to do is I'm bringing in some black ink, and fair warning, I didn't realize that this paper, and maybe it's because of the foil, it really comes off. So when I did this, I had to wipe it off a bit just to make sure that when someone's holding it, they don't get the black inky fingers like I have, as you can see in that disposed piece of paper on the side there. But there you go. It kind of gives it this space or universe type look, where it used to be the chipped paint or wood, weathered wood. I'm not sure what it is, but now it's having this space theme. I also wanted to show you that with all my scraps that I had, I just took my solid plate and I went and used some of Crafty Critta's foiling paper. And then now I have them for die cutting, which I've done right here with this cute little spaceship. So now I have this warp speed type effect with the black space background. I have die cut all my elements for the spaceship using the foil scraps. I've also cut some of these banners using those scraps as well. It's a really nice way of using up those foils so you're not wasting them. Sometimes I find that using the negative on a piece of paper kind of hides everything. Well, at least if you die cut it or use banners and stuff, you can still see the patterns and it's not just covering anything. So with sketch number 9, which is, I didn't say I was using. I'm following sketch 9. I am creating my cluster of banners. But instead of them all coming from the top right down, I'm going to use them as if the spaceship is moving in a direction, leaving behind this banner effect. It's like a trail, speed trail, let's put it that way. And I'm just trying to use some pattern or just plain cardstock that's somewhat matching the foil. I didn't want all foil. It was just too much. So I went with a black, a pink, and a light blue. Making sure that I don't put the pink on the pink foil and the blue on the blue foil. I want to swap them. The black does get hidden a bit on this card. So I do add my sentiment and it covers it a bit. I'm not a big fan of it, but I was really trying to figure out how to get a sentiment on this without adding more foil. And so in the die set that there's this little beam, and I'll show it once I put this card down. And you can see that I had my nice white border around it, which I like to do. And once I glue this down, I'll show you the sentiment that I'm putting in. So I'm going to leave it as a little corner, or kind of putting it diagonal, because I want to make sure that it all fits. I don't want to trim any of it off. If I put it straight, it may not look as nice as well. I like the crooked. I kind of see UFOs flying in an angle. I don't know, it makes sense to me. Let me know if I should have did it straight. But there we go. There's the sentiment here. What it is I've just put some word dyes on the little tractor beam. I'm not a big fan, but it's not terrible. But there we go. Earthly greetings. I just felt it needed something more than what was there. So those are my 2 cards. This is following sketch number 9, and then the first one following sketch 7. These are products from Crafty Critta. They are a super sponsor, and that means that they have provided prizes for a lucky winner following the Kendra card challenge, as well as the design team, so that we can provide inspiration using the product. I love Crafty Critta. They have great foils. You get a lot of it. They have great papers and foiling papers. I can't say anything bad about their products. I love them. If you like them, the information will be in the description box below. And this is also a playlist, so after this finishes, it should automatically go to the next one. But if you would like to see the playlist, that will be linked in the description box as well. So I do hope you enjoyed this, and until the next time, have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you all later. Take care. Bye.